Tonight, when Whitman County can enter into Phase 3 in the reopening process for Washington State.
And this popular food chain in Washington is facing complaints of health code violations. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Josue Cuevas.
And I'm Ava Wainhouse. Welcome to Murrow News 8. Some breaking news. President Joe Biden has announced that all adults will be able to receive the vaccine by May 1st. This announcement comes hours after Governor Inslee announced that all counties across Washington will move forward to Phase 3 of the state's reopening process beginning March 22nd. Governor Jay Inslee announced today under Phase 3, restaurants, gyms, movie theaters, and other indoor facilities will be able to increase capacity to 50%, which is up 25% from what is currently allowed in Phase 2. Inslee said the transition into Phase 4 could begin soon as well.
North Central Idaho residents 55 years young are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. This was from a result of a decrease of appointments for seniors 65 and older and frontline workers who were previously eligible. 47% of people 65 and older in Nez Perce, Latah, Idaho, Clearwater, and Lewis counties have received their first dose.
Sunny days are the best time to get out on the golf course. Murrow News 8 reporter Tierra Trail has more on when you can play.
Thank you, Ava. What better time than to enjoy the sun and play some golf? On Friday, Washington State University's golf course will be opening with a special deal over the weekend, ending on Sunday, with $49 to play the whole course, and get also included is a golf court, and it's a really beautiful day, so go out and enjoy that open golf course, and thank you. I'm Tierra Trail. Back to you guys at the desk.
According to Moscow Pullman Daily News, Moscow offices are now open to the public. City Hall, Paul Mann Building, Public Works and Services Administration Building are among the offices reopening after previously being closed because of the pandemic. City services will continue to be offered via phone, email, or appointment.
According to AP News, a news release from the Latah County Assessor, the Latah County DMV will no longer require scheduled appointments and will be using a virtual waitlist. Visiting the virtual DMV using the waitlist is available from 9 to 3:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. The waitlist along with the office will be closed on Wednesdays. Scan the QR code on the main door to check in, and then remain in your vehicle until you receive a text message for your turn.
More than $6,800 has been donated to the Pullman Serves It Forward campaign, resulting in around 4,500 meals for people in need. According to Pullman Radio, the program not only helps people who are struggling in the community, but also businesses. One of the organizers of the program, Gene Weiler, says restaurants have been struggling during the pandemic, and this is a way to make sure everyone has food on the table.
54 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in Whitman County over the last 2 days. According to Pullman Radio, all new cases were under the age of 60, and the total confirmed cases is up to 3,564 in Whitman County. Although 45 people have died from the virus in the county, there has been no new coronavirus hospitalizations in the last 2 weeks. WSU released a statement about the increase of COVID cases on campus. The statement says that the risk to the Pullman community is considered low regarding the increase of cases. The statement also says that WSU will initiate aggressive efforts to contain the spread on campus. 189 cases have been confirmed on the Pullman campus over the past 2 weeks, with 171 of those being students.
According to Como News, 2 people were seriously injured in a car crash on SR 18 near Auburn this morning. Officials say a car was driving the wrong direction on the roadway, resulting in a head-on collision with another vehicle. When medics arrived, both drivers were taken to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. The reason for why the driver was going the wrong way on the highway is still undetermined.
According to Como News, Dick's Drive-In allegedly violated COVID-19 as well as general health requirements. 5 workers filed complaints with the State Department of Labor and Industries. These complaints came out of 2 locations, with 4 coming from Capitol Hill and the other from the Queen Anne. The reasons for the complaints range from mask violations to pressure to work before receiving a negative test.
It has been 1 year since the World Health Organization has declared a global pandemic due to COVID-19. 2.6 million people worldwide have died from COVID-19, while the United States has the most recorded deaths at almost 550,000 people. According to NPR, 18.8% of Americans have received at least one round of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Coming up, why police officers facing backlash from the Asian community.
And when you could expect your stimulus check to arrive in your bank account. We'll be right back.
Washington State University, an institute of...
Wait, let me show you WSU. We're about being hands-on and getting our hands dirty. We bring art to science and science to wine. We build Mars rovers and launch new medical schools, with the occasional pizza break. Now back to work, because we're always moving forward and leaving our mark on the world. Now that's my WSU.
A discrimination investigation found that Kauai Police Chief Todd Raybuck mocked people of Asian descent. One incident involved him mocking someone of Asian descent in a restaurant in which he parodied the person's speech and mannerism. The investigation also found that Raybuck violated county discrimination policies and created a hostile work environment for an officer based on race.
According to CNN, President Biden signed his $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package this afternoon. Biden said the package is, quote, about rebuilding the backbone of this country and giving people in the nation, working people, middle-class folks, people who built the country, a fighting chance, end quote. It was said during the White House briefing earlier today that Americans will begin to see stimulus checks in their bank accounts as early as this weekend.
An update in the case involving the death of George Floyd. According to AP News, a judge granted the request to add a third-degree murder count against Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Chauvin already faced second-degree murder and manslaughter charges. The additional charge helps prosecutors by giving jurors an additional option to find Chauvin guilty of murder.
It was definitely sunny on my way in today. Alex, can you tell us if the sun is going to stick around for a while?
Yeah, Ava, the good news is that the sun will be around for a bit longer, and we'll take a look at that later in the weathercast. But today, we'll start with today's weather here. A high of 49 and a low of 28. 11-mile-per-hour winds, so a bit breezy outside, made it feel a little cooler. And that's something to take note of, because as we move on over tomorrow, we'll have some pretty similar weather as today. We'll have a high of 50 and a high of 51 and a low of 30. 10-mile-per-hour winds, but some nice sunny weather. So we had some clouds today, more sun tomorrow, so get out there and enjoy the weather. Bring a sweatshirt. It's going to be a little chilly because of the 10-mile-per-hour winds, but some good weather for tomorrow. As we move on over to the full state here, we'll start in Seattle with a high of 53 and a low of 34. And then we'll move on down to Olympia in the state capital with a high of 54 and a low of 30. So some nice sunny weather on the west side here. As we make our way over to central Washington, some really nice weather today in central Washington. Yakima 58 and 28, and Tri-Cities 59 and 27. So some nice weather. A little cold at night, but some nice weather in central Washington. Spokane, partly cloudy, very similar to us in Pullman today. As we look at the 5cast here, one thing that we will want to take note of is Saturday and Sunday. Some very nice weather. 57 degrees on Sunday, will be partly cloudy, but we should be looking good for the weekend. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Alex. When does WSU baseball play their next game? Our sports anchor Jay Bradley will give you an update.
And this NBA player got fined for using an anti-Semitic slur. We'll be right back.
WSU baseball's trip to Seattle has been postponed due to a recent string of COVID-19 protocol developments within the Cougar baseball program. The 4-game road trip to Seattle to face Seattle U and UW this weekend was pushed back, and WSU is working to reschedule the games to a later date. The Cougs are set to begin a 9-game road trip with a single game at Portland next Wednesday, and Pac-12 conference play opens next weekend at Oregon State. WSU men's basketball season ended yesterday with a loss to Arizona State. Coach Kyle Smith remains hopeful moving into next season. This past season was the first winning season from the Cougs in 10 years.
You know, there's opportunity for postseason. We don't know how many people are going to want to play in some of these postseason events, and we're young, and I try telling us that there's more basketball. And you got.
Meanwhile, the Cougar women are awaiting an official announcement for their inclusion in the NCAA tournament. Miami Heat center Myers Leonard has been suspended for a week from team facilities and activities, as well as being fined $50,000 for his use of an anti-Semitic slur during a Twitch livestream Monday. Leonard used a slur in an outburst of rage whilst playing Call of Duty. The NBA also announced that Leonard will be required to participate in a cultural diversity program, and his esports partnership, FaZe Clan, also severed ties with Leonard. Valorant esports athlete and former Overwatch League MVP Jay Sinatra Wan has been suspended from the North American Valorant Champions Tour following allegations of sexual assault from an ex-girlfriend. Wan's ex-partner alleged that Wan repeatedly sexually assaulted her during their relationship in a Google document. She included an audio recording in which she can be heard denying his advances multiple times. The Mariners plan to have fans to attend the opening game of the season. Chairman John Stanton said he is in talks with King County and Washington State officials for reopening T-Mobile Park. The team is not expecting full stands, but is hopeful that some lucky fans will be able to spectate in person. This famous American actor is being recognized at the NAACP's Hall of Fame.
What they are receiving and what they are being recognized for, coming up next.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
According to the Associated Press, Eddie Murphy is set to receive the NAACP Image Awards Hall of Fame. The ceremony will take place on March 27th. The NAACP Image Award honors entertainers and writers of color. Derek Johnson, the CEO and president of the NAACP, said, "To this day, Eddie Murphy's work continues to bring joy and laughter to individuals around the world, and he is an example of Black excellence, creativity, and artistry." So, Ava, I'm a real big fan of Eddie Murphy's stand-up. What about you?
I'm a big fan of The Haunted Mansion from 2003. That movie terrified me as a kid, but I loved it.
Yeah, that's a classic. Thanks for watching. If you missed anything in this or our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
You can always follow us on Twitter as well. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.